Does that go on at the same time? All right.
TobeyG, this JD Show. How you doing, Toby?
Hey, 2 days in a row. What's going on here? You showed up. You didn't screw off again, right?
No, I'm staying put. I'm not running off and hiding.
Well, cheers. Here's happy hour every hour at the TobeyG and JD Show.
All right, man. Thank you very much. That was good. I tell you, I needed that. It's a little early in the morning.
That
but,
drink. We
every hour is a happy hour.
I like just a little splash of cranberry to the vodka. Oh, brother. Because it is just makes it just right. It's not a full Cape Cod, but it's good. And sometimes I drink it straight, but.
Well, you know, you can do that. You know?
Yeah, I know.
You've earned that right.
Yeah.
I mean, myself, this is about all I can handle. Maybe one of these. So.
Well, that's all right.
1 hour.
I don't want to see you spilling tequila in there.
No.
Well, you know, let's start right off the bat with something here. Okay.
Sure.
This is a little crazy. I picked it up this morning, early this morning.
Early.
Okay. How about this? Fourth graders in Mesa, Arizona. Okay. They're saying the Declaration of Independence. And where it says among men, the teacher had them changed to among humans. She changed the gender of the Declaration of Independence. Parents were outraged. Okay, the principal moved one of the children to a different room. Then finally, the superintendent made a statement when it started going viral over the internet, and naturally the news media didn't pick it up. But not the mainstream news, you know, the fake news.
Yeah, I didn't hear about it on the news last night.
Yeah,
so.
And it was it's just absolutely insane. I mean, all of a sudden we're genderless. I mean, you know, I don't get it, JD.
I still feel like I'm a gender.
Well, I'm a gender too, but sometimes I wake up in the morning, which one am I today? You know, I mean, it's like, Jesus, you know. I mean,
it all started with Caitlin.
Yeah. Well, you know, yeah, it did. But you know what makes it funny? You know, that there are people that, you know, they have problems. They have both, you know, they want to be men, and there really are people that have this problem, okay?
Yep. They don't know which way to go.
But it's 0.3%. That's 1/3 of 1% of the population, okay? We have to change our way of life for 1/3 of 1% of the population. I don't think so.
I remember in my when my parents were raising me, we read a lot of the Bible, and I remember them telling me that the reason that God flooded the earth was because of exactly what's going on right now with this. It was happening then. You know, everybody was living in sin. Everybody was doing this and that they shouldn't have been doing. And even though God said He would never flood the earth again, we've got a lot of natural disasters going on, and maybe people need to wake up and pull their heads out of the sand.
That being said, do you know that today is the end of the world?
Oh, that's right. It was today. What time is it? Because we got to hurry this
up.
We
I don't know. Well, we better start talking fast. I don't know.
So
then we get this done before the world ends. Okay, you know.
Minutes here. So.
We just want to tell God we're not making fun of you. You know?
No, we're not. We're not. We're still.
We don't want lightning. We don't want lightning to strike us or anything.
Who is it that said that the world ends today?
It's a numerologist, and I mean it's all over the place. It was on Drudge this morning, and they've been talking about for the last week.
Or what?
That's good.
Thank you.
I like
I'm here
that.
all week. Yeah,
that's funny. But there was a TV station, and I don't know which one. I think it was in Los Angeles. That all of a sudden they showed a big fire and everything on the TV screen, and they said it's the end of the world, and I mean. Come on.
That's all people need is to think that the world's really coming.
And when it does, it does. You're not going to be able to stop it.
No.
It's like it becomes insane. I mean, there's insanity all around us.
I mean, look what's happening everywhere. Down in the Caribbean, those poor islands were hit by those 2 hurricanes. Mm-hmm. Then you had the earthquake, and we've got fires out on the west part of the United States. You've got Iran. You've got
North Korea.
Russia says that they're going to shoot our planes down if we shoot at them again, and just all kinds of stuff going on. Now, the end could be near. There's no doubt about it.
Well, there are problems all over the world. You got the Rocket Man over there in North Korea. You know something? Let's talk about Rocket Man.
Rocket.
The people elected President Trump because they were sick of the diplomacy. They were sick of the way the politicians talk. Hey, I've been around the block a few times.
Just
Sometimes,
a few?
well, maybe quite a few.
Quite a few.
Well, anyway, you get a politician, and they all they want to do is talk in front of the freaking mic, okay? Because the more they talk in front of the mic, they feel important, and they line their pockets with money from the lobbyists and everything else. I mean, they go in poor and they come out rich, okay? Just remember that.
I understand.
Bunch of freaking crooks.
Yep.
But I'm losing my train of thought.
Don't do that.
They elected Trump because politicians will say a word, and I hear a word was, what the hell does that mean? And then you get some of the dopes out there. I mean, the dumbing down of America, of your children. Not all children, but many children have been dumbed down through school, and you've let them. I mean, just like the athletics, no first place, second place, and third place trophy. Everybody.
Trophy, yeah.
That's why we're in the state we're in today. These kids can't stand up on their own 2 feet. But they don't understand the words. Trump is speaking their language. They like to hear that. And you know something? I like to hear that. I'm sick of the baloney because these politicians, and most of them are crooks, are trying to run the world.
I don't have a problem with what he says. I have a problem with what he tweets. Because, the president needs to understand is whatever he says or tweets can affect the world. And he doesn't seem to understand that when he gets on these little Twitter battles with, Kim Jong-un or whoever. It's just, that's not the right way to handle it. If you're gonna take them out, take them out. If you're not going to take them out, don't talk about doing it. Don't talk about we're going to do this and that. He had promised us that he wouldn't do that because he made fun of the previous president for saying this is what we're going to do and when we're going to do it. Well, he's getting close to that again because he keeps talking about what he's going to do. Doesn't say when he's going to do it, but he keeps talking about what he's going to do. Stop that. If the negotiations aren't going to work and we got to go do what we got to do, then we do it. There's no sense in talking about it. Let's do it.
Well, I think that here's how they should
Quit
do it.
tweeting
Okay?
it.
Maybe they'll hire me as an advisor to the president. Okay?
Yeah, I always said that.
First of all, you got to kick North Korea out of the UN. Why hasn't that been done?
Well, you've got to. I don't know if you kick them out of the UN or not, but I think that they need to be held responsible, and everybody is voting against them, and that's what they need to see. If you kick them out of the UN, then they're not going to see it. They're not going to know about it.
They know what's going on because they'll still be negotiating with them as there's back channels. Yeah. There's always been back channels. There was back channels with Iran. That's why we got screwed in that deal with Obama and John Kerry. The same reason. But take them out of the UN, and then my prediction, I don't know if it's a prediction, I would say so that you don't lose 25 million people in South Korea and Japan doesn't get wiped off the earth, you hit them with an EMP. With our scientists today, as long as we don't use the global warming scientists, get our scientists. Well, you don't want garbage in, garbage out. You want accurate information to go in, and we hit them with the EMP. I'm sure you're going to get part of South Korea is going to lose all their chips and their electric as well.
Well, if they're ready for it and know to shut everything off, they'll be all right.
No, you can't. Shutting it off doesn't stop it. It fries your chips. I don't care what you got. Unless it's in a Faraday box, and that's a sealed box out of metal.
Lead.
It doesn't have to be. Well, it can be tin too, but no long as a wave can't get through, it will fry every chip in your car, your computers. The power will be out for years, and that's why you would have to have it controlled over North Korea. So you'd take out all their missile sites. They wouldn't be able to launch the missiles. You'd take out all their electric and all their communications and then go in and bomb their deep bunkers with the mother of all bombs, and I'm sure we got a grandmother of all bombs.
I'm sure we got several of those.
Yeah, and take them out and all the scientists' quarters and the whole bit. And you're going to have the Army coming across, and I think most of them will have their hands up. Hey, thank you, okay? Thank you. We can eat again. We can feed our families. We're not going to be abused.
I think that the military is probably fed pretty well, and their families are taken care of. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the million-man army. We heard about that million-man army before.
Yeah, they're still there. They're a lot older now. But
Well,
that
low
to
here.
me that would
Not
be
good.
the humane way to take care of this instead of bombing the shit out of them, and then them setting off. They got thousands and thousands of rockets instead of sending them off over the and killing all of millions and millions of people in South Korea. We'll just we paralyze them with an EMP. They've threatened to do it to us. That's what they're trying to do to us.
Oh yeah.
And North Korea is, don't.
They're talking about that he's going to fire off another hydrogen, this time into the Pacific, not underground.
Yep.
And that's not good.
No, that's not good at all. The radiation in the Pacific, the fish, the whole 9 yards. We got enough radiation when the nuclear facility in Japan from that earthquake.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And I wouldn't eat any tuna fish that comes out of the Pacific Ocean. I mean that's
It glows.
radioactive.
Yeah, it glows, yeah.
It is absolutely. So that's what's going on with that, JD. I mean, I get off on tangents. You know how I am.
Well, that's okay. I mean, it's important that we talk about the things that are important. And by the way, in case you want to call us, our phone number is 844-429.
3579.
3579. Give us a call. Let us know what you think. If you've got any ideas or topics that you want us to cover, the email address is TobeyG and JD Show @gmail.com.
And if you're looking at us on the video right now, just remember we're sitting on the beach. It's getting to get a little warm. Okay, it's around noonish. And if you think I look short, you're wrong. I'm sitting on a low chair. Okay, I'm really 6'4".
And I'm really skinny. Yeah. So
I'll drink to that.
yeah, I'll drink to that too. Yeah, I'm running out of drink.
That'll be all. Oh, well, I'll take care of that.
Or we get the
Boy,
cranberry.
I thought you only could handle one.
Well, it's hot out here. Thank you.
It is. I mean, it's that's why we have to have our cocktail and we get a little.
Don't forget my splash.
I'll try not to get any sand in it. All right, there you go.
Take stock in that cranberry splash. Huh?
How's that, huh?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's a good cranberry stuff. Well, another thing what were we talking about? I lost train of thought. When you get, maybe when I get a little older, I'll remember better.
Yeah, there you go.
But I ran across another thing, and I printed it out. You know how everybody's talking about, Black Lives Matter because of slavery and a whole bit. Okay.
Well, I think Black Lives Matter is more about getting shot by cops. But,
Well, they want. They always bring up slavery and the whole 9 yards, and they cry and they're blaming white people, white supremacy.
I blame white people too.
Oh yeah, for what?
For everything.
Oh,
Everything's their fault. I mean, they're the ones in charge, and
well,
pretty much.
but everybody has the same opportunity.
Well, we could say that's right. That's the difference. In America, you all have the same opportunity I do.
The more you create hurdles, the longer it's going to take to solve racial problems. It's always going to be problems as far as race goes and so forth, because there are a bunch of bigots out there. There's no question. But it's been made worse the last 8 years. President Obama was supposed to be bring races together, and he divided us. Okay, tremendously. He divided us and continued to dumb down our children in America, having criminals sit down with him and their parents, and he was right out to blame the police on a lot of actions that happened when in actuality it was the person that actually it happened to be a black person that had committed the atrocity. And instead of waiting until all the information came through, he always blamed the cops. And the guy he's a freaking communist. But don't let me start. But here's the thing. While most of us are all too familiar with the horrors of black slave trade, most of us never heard of the white slave trade, where over 1 million white Europeans were taken into slavery. Yes, we were quite shocked when we discovered this. The Barbary Coast, as it is known, lay along the shores of North Africa and predominantly included the ports of Algiers, Tripoli, and so forth. The name was derived from the Berbers. And anyway, and a lot of these captured people, the men were used for hard labor and the women were used for prostitution. and these were white slaves. So, and a lot of these were Muslims that sold these slaves off, and black slave owners. So why did we need to go against the Muslims? I mean, I'm mad now. Okay, I want money back from these Muslims and everything else because now I'm offended because they took whites in slavery. Hey, I just had to say that, JD.
I noticed that.
I had to say that. I saw that. That's
that's at least there's no peel there, so they're good there. So no banana peel.
No.
It is true in history. White people were taken in slavery long before black people were. There's no doubt about that. Anyone that knows anything about any history can see that and knows that. And what happened with the blacks that were brought over here. They were sold by their leaders over there in Africa in those countries, and sold to the white people that brought them over to America.
Well, there were even some black slave owners here in the United States.
Oh, I'm sure there was,
and they started it.
But there's those were bad days. There's no doubt about it. But now things have changed. Now we need to move forward and continue to move forward to equality, so that everybody's got a right to do what they want to do. If they want to get an education, they get an education. If they want to get a nice job, they can get a nice job. But the ones that are freeloading off of everybody, I disagree with that. I think that you should have to work and earn even the help you get from the state or the federal government. Unless you're disabled, you should be working and earning that money.
Absolutely. And why do we need people from other countries to pick our crops and do some jobs?
Well, I'll tell you why we need them, because no one in this country will go.
Then don't give them the food stamps.
Exactly, that's right. Put them out there in the orange groves and in the tomato fields, picking that stuff. You can earn this money if you do this work.
And you start that, and they can build up. They could end up being a supervisor. Who knows? They might end up owning their own grove. I heard a story once, and I understand this is a true story, and I can't give you the facts on it. All I know is apparently there was this doorman in a hotel in New York City, and for years and years he opened the door to this hotel and collecting his tips and the whole bit. Do you know that when he died, they found out that he owned the hotel?
Wow.
All right, and nobody knew it. Nobody knew it was in a trust, a blind trust, the whole bit. He owned the hotel. And through the years, starting off as whatever he did, he ended up as a doorman. He made enough money, and
he just liked being a doorman.
Exactly, so it's you can be anything that you want to be if you strive for it. So let's see what the quotes of the day are.
I want to be skinny.
Well,
I got to strive harder.
Well, yeah, you're going to have to listen to my health tips.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but
let's get to the questions.
Okay, we got the questions today. If you always do what interests you, at least one person is pleased.
That's true. It's probably yourself.
Yeah, if you always do what interests you, at least one person is pleased. But if you're pleased about what you do, and actually it's better if other people are pleased too, that means you're doing a good job.
Yep.
Now there's another one. Rarely have I seen a situation where doing less than the other guy is good strategy. Well, no kidding. All right. I'll say it again. Rarely have I seen a situation where doing less than the other guy is good strategy. Well, you do as much or more than the other guy, chances are you'll get the promotion, or they'll work harder, and everybody will end up doing a better job, because sometimes other people don't like to be left in the dust. And here's another one. Always do 3. Keep your face to the sunshine, and you can never see the shadow. Hey, that's pretty good.
Makes sense, yeah. Of course, you probably burn your eyes out if you look in the sun. So.
Keep your face to the sunshine, and you never see the shadow. Who said that?
TobeyG.
No.
Who?
Helen Keller.
Helen Keller.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's another one of our interesting quotes. But let's go back to it. Another week of a lot of talking about gold and silver. You've got J.P. Morgan has been buying silver overseas. They tell you to sell your silver and gold and Bitcoins here, and then they sneak and they buy it over in Sweden and Switzerland without you knowing, because they're accumulating it. times are going to be bad. So you need this as not an investment, as an insurance policy. Gold closed, the spot price of gold closed yesterday at $1,300 an ounce. About 4 weeks ago, it was about $1,215 an ounce. Yes, it went up, so that would have been a nice investment. You don't buy it as an investment. You buy it as an insurance policy, and you hold it, because if you can't touch it, you don't own it.
That's right.
You know, and you should buy a little bit of gold or silver every single month and bring it home. Don't put it in a safe deposit box. You want to be able to touch it, because it's important that no one else even knows that you have it. And you need to not put anything in a safe deposit box except deeds or insurance policies, and that's about it. Don't put cash, don't put guns, don't put gold or silver, diamonds, jewelry, anything like that, because the day will come when you go to your safe deposit box and they'll say, well, you got to come back tomorrow when somebody from the IRS is here, or the federal government, and you'll open it and you've got cash in there. Well, can you prove where you got that cash? Then they'll confiscate it. You'll never get it back. Can you prove where you got that gold or silver? Gone. See ya. Don't fight against the government, but don't trust them. If you get a knock on the door and they say, we're from the government, okay, you know it's all over. Can't trust the government. And really, and get out of bonds if you're in bonds. Oh,
bonds.
Listen, okay, something else, okay? That's what I was looking for before in the Wall Street Journal, and I couldn't find it because I forgot what I was looking for. But anyway, we've talked several times, JD, and you'll remember this, where the pensions throughout the country, especially the government pensions, are in deep, deep trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. Wall Street Journal, I believe it was yesterday's paper. There was an article, and I put it aside. I was going to photocopy it, and I've been busy as a one-on paper hanger. So anyway, one-on paper hanger. You know what that is, right? Okay. Wallpaper, one hand. Pension. We'll try to put up wallpaper using only having one hand and one arm.
Yeah, that would
okay. So when you're busy as a one-on paper hanger, that means you're real busy.
That's real busy.
Well, there's a city in Ohio. They're required now, cities, to change their accounting systems. So when reporting, this particular city reported $150 million less than they did last year, because they had to put in the true value of the pensions that they're paying out. Because they were $150 million less money, because they had to put the deficits of the pensions, they have to cut back now on the health care that they're paying to the people that are already collecting on their pensions, and the amount of money that pensions going forward will have to pay future retirees. It's coming to every city and town and state and every department of the government. It's coming because the people that you voted for, your politicians, both Republican and Democrat, and union member leaders and so forth, they lied to you. They said you're going to get 6, 7, 8% in return on your money. How can you get that kind of money when you're skimming the money off the top anyway, and you're only going to get for the remainder anywhere from 1 to 3%? How can you get 6, 8, and 9%? And then the turnover, these union guys, they spent all their money and they died, and politicians go and they die, and the new politicians come up, and now they're left with the fiasco, and they don't know how to fix it because the guys that left it to them didn't know what to do with it. All they thought of was themselves and the votes, and you're voting for them. You vote for a politician, and if it's a lawyer, that's even worse. Do not vote. Well, it's true.
It's true.
Do not. Most of your politicians are lawyers.
All of them are, I think. Yeah, because they all have to write them bills. Right. They all have to be legal.
Exactly. So that's the worst thing you can do is vote for a lawyer to be a politician. And a career politician like, what's his name, McConnell and Paul Ryan and Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, these people are freaking thieves, okay? The Chamber of Commerce, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, is paying them millions and millions and millions of dollars for them to vote the way they vote. And all they care about is the 1% and not you, okay? And they keep giving handouts to the people and dumbing them down, the low-class people, because they want their votes. Yeah. Why do African Americans, black people, keep voting, and Hispanics are more Republican, voting for the Democrats? Because every Democratic city, and you tell me one that isn't, is in poverty. Look what the Democrats did to Detroit. Look what they're doing to New York. What have they done to California? California is just about bankrupt. You name all these Democratic cities, they're going down the toilet. Why do you keep voting for the same freaking people? Look at Baltimore, Maryland, one of the most criminal, corrupt cities. Why? Because they keep promising them things and they don't get it.
The Democrats give to the poor, and the Republicans take from everybody.
No, it's not true. All the politicians are taken from everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just saying these were originally Democratic strongholds.
Yes.
Now they're all in the same boat, both Republicans and Democrats. Okay? They're all a bunch of freaking crooks. Now you've got John McCain. He's dying of brain cancer. Okay. Now his true colors are coming out. Everybody calls him a hero. Well, he got shot down, and he chose supposedly not to leave the prison camp unless his fellow comrades went with him. I understand that there's a few falsities to that, but that doesn't mean that he's a patriot today. The way he votes in the Senate, because he's on the criminal. Am I saying this right now? That he's on the criminal side of the political parties, just like the rest of them are. He's in touch with George Soros, the Chamber of Commerce, the drug manufacturers. He's getting paid off.
I think they all are. I think they all are. And whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, as long as there's lobbyists, there's always going to be money that's going to be given to people to vote the way they want them to vote. And that's the problem with the system. That's why they should not be getting paid. They should be up there doing this as for free, because it's a privilege. And if they only want to do it for a year, then we need to get someone else in there and let them do it for a year. And do away with all this big money stuff and have that money put into the government.
We'll do away with K Street.
Yeah, just get rid of it all.
Well, wipe them off. Wipe them off. But yeah, go ahead. You can leave. Just don't leave my.
Here, hold that for me.
Okay. All right, Dad. But so all these politicians, you're going to start thinking when you vote for these different people, and don't vote for a lawyer. And as I said, and another thing that we need to do is we need to talk about Equifax. Yeah, Equifax. They had about 140 some odd million users that were hacked, and there's a website that you can go to their website and you can find out if you were hacked. I did that, and I was one of them that was hacked, and I know a few other people that went there as well.
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah, were you? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I would suggest going to your credit card every couple of days to make sure that no one has gotten your information, and sign up for LifeLock. They're not a sponsor. I'm signed up for LifeLock, and you need to cover yourself, or another company. I know, JD, you have another company.
Yeah, there's several of them. I have Legal Shield, which has a product that I use that does the same thing as LifeLock, and there's others out there. So it's worse, sign up for the free one, but you'd be better off signing up for the paid one. And I think Equifax has to pay the first year if you use LifeLock or one of those. Just find out from them; they'll let you know.
Yeah, well, it's something to need to keep on tabs with, because we're going to have more and more of this happening. We need to be careful, and we need to be very vigilant on it.
It's bad enough we got to watch where we put our credit cards and what gas machines and that, because they're putting swipers, and now they're putting them at the ATMs at the banks, and then all of a sudden you got Equifax here getting hit. So, oh well, what can we do? Just keep plugging along and hope for the best, and keep an eye on your bank account and your credit cards.
Yep, it didn't start here, and it's not going to finish here. This is just the beginning of some major things in the financial world. It's coming to a city near you.
All right, well, Toby G, I tell you, this has been a great show. I look forward to the next one. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about, but
I got a couple of ideas, but
Well, we got
hit
about
that,
10 seconds,
Yeah,
so-
we'll hit on that. We're going to need to talk about cryptocurrencies a little bit and finance, and a few other things that are just off the cuff, not from notes, not from anything else. That's what makes it more interesting.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you all next time.
Have a great week.